What celebrity conspiracy theory do you absolutely, 100%, believe is true? Former Disney stars do publicity stunts to purposefully sabotage their image, and be released from Disney's clutches, contractual obligations. Most if not all of the celebrity rivalries are fake and is mostly used for promoting one another. Britney Spears was having issues managing her life and fame, but they were exacerbated and encouraged by the people around her to push her into one huge public meltdown they could use to gain control over her. I remember reading stories about her assistant and manager fluffing with her, hiding her phone then calling it, all while telling her it wasn't ringing, until she broke down crying. They would mess with her things then tell her she did it in some kind of fit. I remember reading something about them deliberately confusing her in public so she would look disoriented, and them pushing the drugs and alcohol on her. The ultimate diagnosis was a sham to make sure they could keep her drugged to the gills and compliant. Then again, this year, she checked into a mental health facility, and they claim she became distraught over her father's health problems. I say they forced her in because she was starting to ask for more and more independence, and not listening when they said no, so they shoved her in there to remind her who's in charge. I also don't think it's a coincidence that right around the same time, the attorney who managed the financial aspect of her conservatorship asked for a big raise then suddenly resigned. Britney has recently taken to court to ask for it to be lifted, or at least minimized. Her mother is also suing for access to Britney's medical and treatment records. Edit, some points. A. I don't watch South Park or Black Mirror. B. I've had this theory since it all first started going on. C. I do believe she genuinely has a mental illness. I'm saying they exacerbated it to get control, and are currently exaggerating it to keep that control. D. Ultimate diagnosis was a sham is the wrong wording, because like I said, I believe she has some issues. I meant they take advantage of her needing medication to keep her overly medicated and docile, basically a pretty doll. Dan Schneider has a kitty foot fetish. Also known as Dan, show me your feet or you'll be on the street, Schneider. When Amanda Bynes tweeted about Drake murdering her PSSY, she meant Drake from Drake and Josh and not the rapper Drake. Probably not celebrities unless you are a sci-fi nerd, but L. Ron Hubbard making a bar bet with Robert Heinlein that he could start a religion. Robert Wagner, Christopher Walken, and Natalie Wood were all on Wagner's yacht Splendor off the coast of Catalina. They had a huge fight, the reason for which is the subject of debate, but afterwards somehow Natalie ended up in the water. Wagner knew she had a lifelong fear of water and couldn't swim, but in a drunken rage he allowed her to drown. Death was ruled accidental. TLDR No. 2 acted out the song, In the Air Tonight, at the Fluffing Catalina Wine Mixer. I truly believe there are a lot more gay rappers in hip-hop, rap than we think. Their orientation doesn't matter or detract from their skills, but it's crazy to think how many are in the closet. Also rumor had it that Tupac was bisexual at the very least. Tom Cruise's marriage to Katie Holmes was orchestrated by the Church of Scientology to help his public image? Taylor Swift and Harry Styles' relationship was a publicity stunt to give Taylor more sales on her upcoming album and to prevent the public from figuring out that Harry isn't the 100% straight chick magnet he was marketed to be. We know for certain Harvey Weinstein blacklisted Mira Sorvino and Ashley Judd after they rebuffed his advances, as Peter Jackson confirmed. It is very likely he blacklisted Rose McGowan and Annabella Shora after he raped them. I believe that there are others he blacklisted who are not public or even for sure known by the actresses, and some, completely understandably, gave in to his advances and were allowed to work. Bill and Hillary Clinton barely even coexist, they live two completely separate lives that are anything but an actual marriage except in name. Marilyn Monroe was done in by the CIA because of her ties to JFK. That Adam Sandler only makes movies as an excuse to go on holiday. I mean, think about it, the movie Just Go With It has him and a fake family or something like that take a trip to Hawaii. Blended has him and his family and another family go to Africa for a holiday. Grown Ups is really just them on summer vacation. Jimmy Savile hired a hitman to kill Jill Dando, because she was about to expose a pedophile ring at the BBC. John Travolta is gay and likes to assault male masseuses. That Frank Sinatra and not Woody Allen is Ronan Farrow's biological father. I mean, look at them. Just look at them. I can't believe that there are people who still believe that Alan is Pharaoh's flesh and blood kin. Kanye West takes little bites of people when he hugs them. Lemmy is not dead, he just wanted to retire in peace. Will Smith is a Scientologist. I mean, he's even been seen exiting their building. That the government and Hollywood work together to promote completely insane conspiracy theories specifically to protect the rich and powerful's actual secrets from getting out. Paris Hilton is actually extremely intelligent and has a passion for restoring vintage radios. Michael Cera never agreed to be an actor. He just stumbled into it and couldn't say no due to his awkward persona. Marilyn Monroe was murdered for the Kennedys. Isaac Kappy didn't commit suicide and that he was on the way to outing pedophilia within Hollywood. You can especially draw parallels to what's going on with Epstein now with what he was saying before he died. The whole Epstein situation was a conspiracy for years, and is finally being revealed. There's definitely more to it that we don't know yet, and so many rumored people involved. I think within the next year we will see a lot of names dragged through the mud, and a lot of truly horrible secrets brought to light. Avicii was killed by Oman royalty after he spoke out against their child bride practices. Mark Hamill's car accident between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back was far worse and disfiguring than let on. Michael Jordan was wrapped up in some bad garbage with his gambling, and his first retirement was forced upon him by the NBA. Hollywood is a cesspit of ritual child happy fun time abusers. Brittany Murphy was killed to prevent her from testifying in, and bringing public attention to, the trial of friend and DHS whistleblower Julia Davis. Vin Diesel is gay. That Johnny Depp accidentally shot Winona Ryder in the ribs and that's why she ended their relationship and got addicted to prescription drugs. Tom Cruise is a sociopath, so, lots of people brought religion into this. That was not where I was going, but you do you. I have a psych degree, so I did actually learn about this in university. No, I'm not an expert, but I do not use the term lightly. I have only been on Reddit like a week, does this count as exploded? Jang Ya-yin did not commit suicide and was murdered for trying to expose the dark side of the Korean entertainment industry. The allegations included her company and the industry feeding her drugs and alcohol and forcing sexual encounters for her career. She had written a long paper, identifying several influential individuals, and had each page essentially notarized. She had signed each page and stamped her fingerprint on them. They called this a suicide note but was more of a document exposing things. She had this written and completed days before her suicide, prior to her sending the document to the press. The police didn't fully investigate the situation closely either. Now Ji-Oh Yoon, who used to work with her, is continually testifying of the things she saw with Jang and trying to find resolution. Shortly after she started testifying, she's had 2 major car incidents within a short period of time. Her brakes appeared to have been tampered and caused her to have an accident driving high speeds. I think her car spun out on a high-speed road, and someone hit her car with enough force that it seemed intentional. We can't talk here. They're watching us. Just the usual. OJ did it, Spacey is a diddler, Cruz thinks he's a supreme alien and South Park is a low-key, major whistleblower but deserves more credit. Tommy Wiseau is a vampire. Think about it. No one knows his real age, he's very wealthy, and his origins are rather suspect. Khloe Kardashian is OJ's daughter. Weird Al Yankovic is not of this world. Adam Sandler gets actresses he has a crush on to star in his movies so he can kiss them. The I'ma Let You Finish event at the VMAs was orchestrated by Kanye, Taylor, Beyoncé, and Jay-Z. There is just one Olsen twin moving very quickly back and forth to create the illusion that there are 2 but really it's just one. I don't believe conspiracies as a rule, but my favorite it as Avril Lavigne died and was replaced by a doppelganger. The creator of Simpsons has a time machine. That JFK and RFK were both hits actually from Joe DiMaggio. DiMaggio loved Marilyn Monroe till the day he died, and when she was killed by the Kennedys he reached out to his mob connections and put a hit on both of them. Michael Jackson was murdered. Dan Schneider is a pedophile who molested a number of Disney child stars, and he is the father of Jamie Lynn Spears' baby edit, I meant Nickelodeon child stars. Tom Cruise's marriage to Katie Holmes was a total sham to distract the masses about his weird Scientology BS. That Usher accidentally slept with his half-sister. The story is Usher's real father is Ben Vereen. He grew up thinking Vereen was a close family friend, and the adults kept it quiet until Usher was in his teens, and they realized he and Vereen's daughter were secretly dating. I have absolutely nothing to base this on, but a long time ago I heard a rumor that Michael Jackson's father had him chemically castrated at a young age to preserve his voice. Like I said, there's no evidence, but it would help explain his bizarre relationships and obsession with childhood.